I am starting out and try running comps while I'm on my live cold calls, and I find it overwhelming right now. Then don't. Jerome, really don't. What I like to do is, if you're making your cold calls, if you're hand dialing, it's really difficult. But if you're using a dialer like Mojo Dialer, then all of the dialers now have a button that you can click that pops up Zillow. And you can kind of get an estimate of that. And what I like to do, if they're really pushing me for a price right there, there's a couple things. There's a couple of things to unpack here, Jerome. Number one is, if they're pushing you for a price, push for a price, most of the time they just want like a free value out of you, or to see if you're going to throw something at them that is like way above what anybody would pay for it. Okay, so don't be too concerned about people asking you, well, how much will you give me? How much will you give me? How much will you give me? Right? Because usually, most of the time, those are driver personalities. Driver personalities already have a price in their mind. So what I do with those is I pull up Zillow. I have a calculator somewhere. I have a calculator, and I just take the Zillow price and I put it at 0.66. If it's above 250,000, I times it by 66%. If it's below 250,000, I times it by 0.5, and I just throw out that number. It looks like properties in your area in that condition are selling for around 125,000. And then just be silent. And if they're like, oh no, I want 470,000, you're like, oh God, okay, no, you're not the right guy. Sorry for wasting your time, Mr. Johnson, and we're gone, right? So don't be too worried about running your comps while you're live. If it's a really good deal, if it's a really good opportunity, a really good lead, they're gonna let some time to get the flow, to get the conversation. Remember, when we're talking to anybody, anytime we're having a conversation, it comes down to 4 pillars: condition of the property, timeline to sell it, the motivation to sell it, and the price, right? You want to get that from them. You want to ask those questions from them. Now, if they're going to guard onto that price, or they only want that price from you, you need to answer the question and then keep the conversation going if you can. If you feel like it's going to be a good one, or if you feel like they're just kind of using the, well, how much will you give me, as kind of like a force field that's around them to keep, so that they feel comfortable with the conversation because you're a stranger, right? So when they ask, how much will you give me? And you go, well, you know what? Honestly, I would have to learn a little bit more about the property to give you a solid offer. What remodeling have you done to the kitchen and bathrooms in the last 5 years? See, I answered the question, but then responded with a question. And I think that that's a very nice transition, because then all of a sudden now they're going to be talking about the condition. And now I'm working condition, timeline, motivation, price, condition, timeline, motivation, price. And I like them in that order, guys. I like them in that order because people will open up about the condition. The longer they talk, the more that they're going to be comfortable with you, and the more the conversation is going to open up. Then you go to timeline and you say, typically we're able to get you your money for the house within 14 to 30 days from today. Does that timeline work for you? No, I need longer. Oh yeah, that works perfect. Now you got the timeline. And usually when you ask about the timeline, they start talking about the motivation. I need to sell this yesterday. It was broken into 3 times over the last month because it's a vacant rental that I have in another state, and I need to just get rid of it. It's just a nightmare. These are the conversations that you're looking for. And listen, you could go to my YouTube channel and literally hear conversations like this on my cold call breakdowns, right? The cold call breakdowns, they talk about all these things pop up. It's like amazing. This isn't like fake. This is real life. People really say that stuff. So it's incredible. So Jerome, first of all, I applaud you 100% for making calls. That's incredible. Remember, 95% of people that hear that you should talk to people or call will never do it. So you're in the top 5% already. Keep it going. You are going to find opportunities, and it is an absolute fact. If you have quality conversations with distressed property owners, it's only a matter of time before you get deals. You get deals, it works every time. It's flawless. It's undefeated. I'm telling you, you have enough quality conversations, you will win.